in honor of the North Node going into Pisces, which is going to promote so much beauty and eloquence and artistic expression out in the universe or in the world. We are going to take a trip to the Getty Museum in Los Angeles because I know it has a lot of art, but it also has a special astrology section to showcase the rising signs. So I've never been there. Let's go together and have fun. The line to get in wasn't actually that bad. It was pretty smooth. This museum is free, but you do have to pay $25 for parking. This is us taking shoe selfies while we wait for the train that's going to take us all the way up to the museum. Now, this isn't the first thing we did. We didn't go straight to food. However, what I recorded in the Rising Sign Museum got deleted. So instead of rushing back over, we got hummus and coffee, and then I'll take you back to the Rising Sign exhibition. Thankfully, it was super easy to find. It's actually really close up to the entrance. This exhibit is focused on medieval times and how they used astrology back in the day. Right off the bat, I could tell you it was too small, too short. I needed more of everything. Quite literally wish I had my own personal tour guide. I actually feel like I caught a typo. Pause this and zoom into the first sentence. Tell me that doesn't make sense. This first beautiful book here is telling you the inception or discovery of the sun, moon, and stars having an influence over us. So it is a biblical depiction of this testimony. This first book is explaining the equinoxes and how the year is broken down in celestial milestones. And this right here is the first recorded birth chart. I'm going to say first recorded, but this is a first rendition of what birth charts used to look like. And in case you're wondering, no, I'm still not okay. The way I want this to be in my blood. How proud of this I am. It's beautiful. This one, bitch, will fascinate you. The Zodiac and astronomy. Back in the day, honey girl, astronomy and astrology were united. They were together. They were inseparable. And that is why we were so much smarter back then. I turned back around because this is me manifesting astronomy and astrology getting married again. But peep that cloudy hand. It's giving Ace of Wands. Unfortunately, all of this is written in Latin, and so I cannot understand. I wish I could. This is another rendition of the cyclical year and how the zodiac signs are drawn on the outside of the wheel. This next sign is basically telling you how astrology was used in everyday life. I would say back then they mostly used astrology for weather, astronomy, and medical astrology, as well as rulerships, kings and queens, etc. That's kind of basically it. It's not like how it is today where we use it for business, psychology, of finances. They just had smaller focuses and priorities back then because they had different things that were important at the time. Different societal needs, which we could totally understand. We're like literally hundreds of years later. This here is really interesting. It's telling us how they used to use medical astrology, and it was way more on-demand predictive than it is today. And so they would basically use a letter associated to your name plus where the position of the moon is, plus the planets, and they would come up with your diagnosis or your illness. So it was more on terms of horary is what we call it today, but back then it was normal. This is a manuscript or depiction of the rulerships of the planets on the body. We still do this today. It's called medical astrology. Could you practice under this? Absolutely not. The government will come after you, which is why I don't touch it with a 10-inch pole. Now here we would see your medieval horoscope, which is basically whole sign. And it gives you a little bit of an exploration as to your zodiac sign changing. So here I put I'm born in November and I'm still a Sagittarius. That doesn't change because why would it? I am a queen. It did go ahead and let me know that I'm hot and dry. My problem areas are the hips. Girl, they too big. Things to eat. Which, this is hilarious. I was telling my sister, this is a small list. This is a very small list. And that's a very big list. Now this here, girl, this is what killed me. Look at my suggested activities back in medieval times. Girl, they had me gathering acorns for pigs, okay? They had me reconciling with my enemies back then. They had me out here getting married as a Sagittarius. They had me bloodletting from my arm. They said, bitch, you don't need that blood. They had me out here taking baths like it was an ordinary thing. They had me doing anything with fire. I was an aristocrat, just blooming with fire, girl. Put me in the circus, up there with a bicycle, fuming, gas coming out of me. Now, the last one is true. I could see me buying land. I could see me buying horses and just riding off to the wilderness. That hasn't changed. That's still accurate, correct, positive horoscope. Now, the rest of these books are absolutely gorgeous, and I was salivating at just their beauty, okay? These were individually based for each zodiac sign. This Scorpio one was my favorite. You could tell this was hand-painted. There ain't no printing press over here. Everything was hand-drawn. Now, this is super cool because palm reading was popular. And if you know anything about palm reading, it is 100% astrological. And I thought that was beautiful. This also, the second book, is a rendition of people consulting with their astrologer. I thought this was really cute because it's one of the few times where they mention astrologers. I basically felt seen. I felt heard. I felt recognized. And we need to have more of this in life, okay? We need to have more salute to your astrologers out there because we're out here reading the laws to y'all. This is a sign for goodbye. And like I said, this was just way too short for me. And we kind of went into the next room, which was Italian beauty and villas and art. And I was astounded, but also was ready to go home. These are all the exhibits that they have. And the last one is a picture of Venus. I got her. I got my girl out here. She was looking cute. She was looking tight. She was looking feminine. I wished on money.